Hello and welcome to Community Chats. I'm your host, Aley Hammer, and today we're joined with Jason Bordujenko, Head of Solution Architect at Megaport. JB, first up, I'm really proud that I pronounced your name correctly. I've been practicing, but thank you so much for being here today. Can you start by telling us a little bit about Megaport?
Yeah, absolutely, Ali. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and thanks for the opportunity to chat today. So I'm obviously working with Megaport. Megaport have been around since 2013. We are Australian headquartered. We've actually started here in Brisbane, listed on the ASX in 2015. I think the incorporation originally was around 2013. We launched in APAC in 2014 and certainly had a lot of connectivity options. The reason for being essentially was our founder, Bevan Slattery, who had been involved obviously in quite a lot of data center and telecommunication builds in Australia. And the key problem that he was looking to solve was, that the first operator in a new data center just didn't have any real connectivity options and wasn't really going anywhere very, very quickly. So Megaport was founded with the intention of making that greenfields connectivity, really easy to gain access to. And obviously around that time, we saw the massive uplift in cloud services, and I think that the key push for Bevan was to get access to that. So yeah, 2015 with the launch in Australia, 2014, 2015, and then added North America and Europe as well.
Wow, that's incredible. And it's just so amazing to hear how Megaport is helping to change the way we actually connect globally. So JB, I'm going to call you that from now on because it's easier for me to pronounce. As one of AWS's largest Direct Connect partners, can you tell us a little bit, firstly, actually, what does Direct Connect actually mean for anyone who doesn't know? And secondly, how does it benefit your customers?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I touched on that data center connectivity and telecommunications. There's obviously the third element that we have, which is the connectivity to the cloud. And Direct Connect was pretty much the first launch product with a cloud partner. Direct Connect in its simplest form is think of plugging your blue wire or a fiber cable straight into the cloud directly. It does what it says it'll do on the tin. And obviously working with AWS in the first instance, when I think in that first year we had about 50 data centers total, it was certainly very, very key to get those customers as quick as access to AWS resources possible and effectively plumbing straight into their VPC or their compute environments. It mirrors, actually, interestingly, that the Megaport product mirrors the way that AWS build their own Direct Connect services, in that a customer would be at a data center for traditional Direct Connect, and they would be connecting to us with a fiber cable, so within that data center, and the physical connectivity is at 1 or 10 gigabits per second. They can certainly use slower speeds than that, but that's the speed that those connection options support. With the Megaport model, which is a partner connectivity to Direct Connect, we can give customers access through the Megaport network, fabric, cloud, whatever you want to call it, directly into the AWS network at those data centers, or in fact stretch it to other data centers. So I just pulled up the latest statistics. This is the one that I have, the difficulty keeping on a day-to-day basis. And we're installed in over 380 data centers globally now and have extended reach into over 700. So from any of those data centers, you can effectively procure the Direct Connect services and be plumbed in with that fiber to cloud.
Wow, that's impressive. It's really great to hear that customers are able to connect from such a large number of places and also globally as well. So I imagine that customers might be a little bit worried about security at times. So can you explain how users remain secure when connecting from various locations?
Yeah, absolutely, Ali. So the key part of what we do is it is a private telecommunications network. So Megaport are doing the hard work. We are going out and acquiring those contracts, security obviously from the interference point of view, and the assurance point of view, but also in terms of uptime. So when we build a circuit, and I'll talk a little bit of the terminology, those TLAs, when we build a circuit, once a customer is connected with their physical port, those 1 or 10 gigabits per second connections, they build something that we call a VXC, or a virtual cross connect. And that's actually done in a matter of minutes. In fact, just around a minute to get that connectivity once the physical plumbing is in. And the VXCs are actually path diverse. So the first thing is it should, it seems that backhoes love fiber. Should one of those fiber connections become unavailable, the customer shouldn't really even see an impact to those services. And the other thing, obviously, is this is not traversing the public internet. This is a private connectivity option. So it's removing a lot of those outside threats that you'd usually address by tunneling through a VPN or an IPsec service or something like that. The benefit of what we do is obviously remaining with that uptime, ability to build in diverse locations, which is really key. You might only have a presence at one data center, but by being able to build to 2 or more AWS Direct Connect edge locations, it gives you that high availability. And then obviously bypassing the public internet and the DDoS threats that come alongside that, we're able to give a really assured service. If you want to layer that IPsec VPN over the top, you can still use those services as well, which gives you that extra layer of assurance. The benefit of doing that with us is obviously if you've got that higher bandwidth to start with and you apply that crypto and it takes off a little bit of that overhead on the internet, that's a little bit of a hit because you're not really in control of that path. But with Megaport, you might actually just turn that circuit slightly up to compensate for that overhead.
Wow, that makes complete sense. And after hearing that, I actually feel like it's way more secure now. So to go through Direct Connect. So I also understand that Megaport has some interesting projects that actually enhance our Direct Connect offering. Can you tell us a little bit about how customers can take advantage of this? And also, I really want to know what's next in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's a great question. I love to do the crystal ball gazing. I've just actually hit my 5-year anniversary with Megaport today. The one thing that I learn is the more you know, the more you don't know. And I'm always interested in talking with customers about what they want to do next. So happy to share with you some of the cool stuff. Look, we did release, again, a couple of TLAs. We did release a product called Megaport Cloud Router, or MCR, which was really about connecting our customers who didn't have a physical data center presence. So it was taking, Cloud Region A and joining it to Cloud Region B, using the native Direct Connect services, using those VXCs, but not needing to plumb it back through a physical customer port. And where we saw that, and it's been 2.5 years that we've had that product out, we've revised it, we relaunched it, given it new capabilities. It's effectively just a hosted router, and it's in an independent space. It's not sitting within the AWS cloud, it's sitting on the Megaport network, which means it can do some really interesting stuff in terms of, I mentioned before, that IPsec piece. We can provide IP addresses to make that possible for customers who otherwise wouldn't be able to do that directly. We can join cloud regions together. We can join public and private clouds together. So it gives a really interesting flexibility and can be used in tandem with the physical port product. But the reality is with MCR, we've been getting a lot of questions from customers that have been pushing us to say, we're looking at connectivity options. Obviously, you've got MCR, that's great, where we're doing cloud native or cloud first builds. What can we do in the SD-WAN space? How do we extend that private network that you have and actually take advantage of some of those components and drive them over the public internet? So late last year, we introduced a partnership with Cisco. And in fact, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be starting the early field trials or the beta on a new product offering that actually joins that Megaport private connectivity with public connectivity through the Cisco Viptela, the SD-WAN product. And we're calling it Megaport Virtual Edge. And I think it's going to be quite revolutionary in the ability for customers who have been using some of those concepts with MCR or the cloud router up till now, but actually able to be joining those with their private SD-WAN networks. They're still using internet connectivity, but it's the first time that we've opened up that world from the internet side to take advantage of some of those components with mentioned on the security and high availability with Direct Connect and those data center presences that we have. We're really putting building blocks on top of that with MVE, and we're launching with the Cisco Viptela platform, but intend to expand that pretty quickly with other product offerings in that space as well.
Wow, that's super exciting. And you did mention you love looking through a crystal ball. So as a company that helps connect people to the cloud, can you share with us what do you think will be the most important trend in 2021?
Yeah, I think it's probably no surprise that we've started to see this already with a lot of people no longer working from the office. I know in where I am today, even in Brisbane, it's pretty quiet in the office. We're enabling that connectivity with the MVE product, as I said, from home. And I can see that we will be expanding in that capability quite aggressively. So we've already seen that reshaping of what we call the edge. And I know the edge has many definitions. Does it exist in formal data centers? Does it exist at the edge of clouds? It's one of those terms, just like cloud. It sort of exists everywhere, but it is the product that you shape off the back of it that really informs what customers will do. So one of the future looking predictions that we've certainly had, and our CMO and the VP of engineering and product here have come together and actually done late last year, done a bit of a scan on that, and it builds on those products and the launches that we're talking about with MVE. So what we're looking at is CIOs who currently have a bit of a double-edged sword. They're using traditional MPLS networks. They may be coming out of contract for that. They've completely reshaped the way that they build offices, hook them together, the reliance on cloud and cloud first, and those entry points to that. I think we're seeing that changing subtly at first, but it's going to accelerate very, very quickly. And certainly around SDN, NFV, the network function virtualization, and the SD-WAN concepts, we're using parts of public internet, but also using multiple carriage technologies to get there. It's akin to what we're doing with VXCs and private paths and having those multiple paths available. But joining those worlds together will be very, very powerful. And I can see adoption and uptake of cloud accelerating quite quickly because of that.
Well, I hope you're right. That sounds super interesting. Jason, I really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us today. Thank you so much. And to all our viewers at home, we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.